Good morning everybody, and this is your Dow Jones day trade setup for today. So we had some pretty interesting announcements about cheap money, and obviously the Dow Jones has got a lot of banks in it, and we basically accelerated out of this consolidation phase and broke properly. I know I put out on the Telegram channel that we had the break and I was looking for the retest to get an entry. And as usual, it was such a strong break that we didn't really get the retest. So I think it's worthwhile just looking at the daily. For once, you can see most of the month, we had a strong rally into the month, and then we had a proper consolidation where buyers were coming in off structure here at 31297, kept coming in, kept buying, and then we had the break. So that break would have been triggered by stops as well, which is sitting above the structure. So there's probably a lot of shorts sitting here, thinking that if you look at the price action, it was kind of an indication that it was looking to the downside. And based on the weekly as well, you see we had that weekly spinning top. So obviously there was quite a few shorts in there, which is now accelerated. With all of that out the way now, where are we going to? There are a couple of targets. We've met the first target already. That was the first target. So that was 3200. And remember, we were looking at that on a break of this structure here. So there's our structure and a break to the upside. Not perfect, but these tails weren't perfect either. But that's pretty much the first round number at that level. So that has been met. The next bit of structure is obviously the flag. So we've got, there's the strong move up, there's a consolidation, you take that off the low, and your next target to the upside is pretty much 33,000. 33,048, but I'll just round that off to 33,000. That is your next target. So that's a good almost 1,000 pips from where we are at the moment. Okay, so let's just get down and look at the structure we're looking for. So it has been a pretty strong break. This is a massive break, and then we've gone smaller. So price action is looking good. Onto a level. That level was the measured move. Now what we need to do is look for structure. We never really got the pullback here. So I just need to delete some of this noise quickly. Delete that. We can just modify that to there. So there's our previous high. That would be a magnet. So that's 31,740. And then the other thing is going to be a magnet is 3,200, whether we stay above it on the lower time frame. So on the 3 hour, there's nothing really that you can see for a pullback, and there won't be anything on the hour either. But what we can do is just have a look at the break. I think I gave you guys the heads up on Telegram, roughly on this bar, which was in the progress. It was in progress of happening. It had started breaking above here and started breaking above the next inside tail, and I said looking like a breakout, and we never really got a retest. So for me, there wasn't really a signal. One thing just to bear in mind, you can see these two rejections here weren't off structure. So my rules are pretty clear. If we get a break of the moving averages and we come back and we test the moving average, not below it like this, then there's a breakaway. This here was more than likely the 200 EMA. So if I just change this to the 200 EMA quickly, you'll see what I mean. There's a 200 EMA. So now it's no longer the 155, it's a 200 EMA. And you can see that was below, up, tested, and then moved to the upside. So, yeah, so I mean, sometimes things start changing. When this starts happening, I start looking at the price action. So I start looking at the 155 and seeing if I need to adjust it to a 200 or some other multiple of 3, so possibly a 180 or something like that, to try and pick up the bigger moves. Remember, your algorithms are not always trading the same thing. They are using artificial intelligence, and they are learning the market as it goes along and looking for opportunities to tweak it. So you've also got to keep that in the back of your mind. So what works today may not work next week. Okay, so for me today, the S&P and the Dow, we're looking for structure. And on the 15 minute, you can see no structure. This is still the 200 EMA. No real structure here, but you could have called that structure, but that's not structure according to my rules. That was correct. There wasn't really a level. It wasn't onto a level, or was it? Not good enough. So it wasn't a decent level. Well, was at a level, but wasn't sort of above the level. It was above and below the level, which always worries me. Oscillators were brilliant, at least set up at that time. So I suppose, in hindsight, we probably could have looked at this and think, well, it's looking like an opportunity for a break, and we could have taken this bar here with a tight stop. Anyway, I'd made the call not to trade yesterday, so that's just what it is. Anyway, we're rambling now. What we're looking for is structure, and at the moment the structure is right here at 3200. So if we can stay above 3200 this morning, there's opportunity to buy into this. DAX is looking interesting for a break above its major level of 14,000, and if that does happen, I think USA will follow suit. So for me, what I would suggest is treat this area here as a range, and we break above it, retest, it's long, stop below the range. If we pull back to the bottom here, then it's possibly buy off the bottom of the range, but keep a really tight stop. And by really tight stop, I'm talking about a couple of pips. So 15, 20 pips, just depends what your brokerage fees are. So just keep it just below whatever that is. And that is pretty much a structure for me. I think you're going to have a second move here today. This is a really strong move. So you've got two upside targets at the moment. This is the first one. If we break the range, okay. So if we break the range, then you're looking at 32,600. Then you're looking at 3,300. So that's kind of the structure. If you pull back, which to me would be ideal, so something back to 31,740 area, possibly even sort of, that should be about 50%, I would say. I'm making it really messy now, but we need to know where everything is. Yeah, so this area is close to the 50% Fibonacci, 31,740. So 31,740, 31,700 would be a decent pullback as well. Personally, I don't think you're going to get that. So I think what you're going to get here is consolidation during the quiet period this morning, and then a constant continuation to the upside. So opportunities are here to start buying into this today. Okay. Anyway, guys, one thing I'm glad about is that this sideways motion here is over. Just come back to the hour, because you can't trade this kind of stuff, but this kind of stuff you can trade. So strong move, nothing to the left to stop it, just measured moves. Structure gets formed on the fly, and then breaks, and then runs. So that's kind of what you're looking for. Okay, anyway guys, that's enough from me. Hope it helps, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.